everybody. Welcome.
Was that on me? Was that on me? There we go.
We all have access. We're all inside the stream. Welcome to Savage Universe Thursdays. I am JM, and with me tonight I have John and Landauer. Good to have you both here.
Thank you for having us, man.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about, we may have one more special guest dropping in at some point. We are having our recap of the Creator Jam from February, the Fast, Fun, Furious February. And normally would have done this at the start of March, but we were right in the middle of the big sci-fi celebration. So we figured we would just jump in and do it here at the end. So if you don't know what it is, Lander, you want to tell us what the Creator Jam was?
Yeah, so the first off, Savage Universe is a representative of all of the licensees, from Ace licensees who are putting out like full books and printings, all the way to our media network, the people who put out blogs and videos and cool stuff like that. And then the Savage Worlds Adventures Guild, which is usually like the first step into publishing games for folks. And we host Savage Worlds Adventures Guild through DriveThruRPG. And the lovely people on the Savage World Discord put together a couple events every year. One of them is the Fast, Furious, Fun February, which is an excuse to follow the lightest of themes to put out like your first or second or third, whatever, swag product. So this year's theme was Rebellion. And, it wasn't a requirement that folks followed the theme, but we did have some brand new entrants. There we go.
That's right. Yeah.
We finally got Mr. JD John Doom published, and that's why his comment was coming from within the stream. And
we have somebody from Portugal in the stream.
Yes, Nelson. Nelson is a regular stream watcher, so welcome, Nelson.
Welcome,
Nelson. Yeah, so I think we'll finish up with John Doom's Seventh Kind because it's cool, and I helped edit it a little bit. But
I helped read it.
Right, we read it first. We're special. We got early access. We've roped John Doom into playing and running games with us on Fridays. So, yeah.
And Landauer roped John Doom's character into going in the underworld.
By roped in, more like opened a portal and shoved his character in. It's like, we're doing this now. Thanks.
To hell. All right. Well, let's talk about the first one. John, thanks for joining us on this. I know it's a little, self-interest, but after we get through this first product, tell us what think about what you would tell us about your experience in the Creator Jam was like.
Okay, I will do that then.
Think, John. I'm asking you to think. So the first one is a product called the Velian Rebellion by James Abendroth, which is look at that. See, having Landauer in the stream is like having a second me in the stream. You get twice the us for the price of admittance, which is free. So this is this is everything that the Creator Jam promised to be. This is Rebellion right there on the label. In a colony, the governor is stepping down and thought they would just turn over the vote to the populace. And it turns out one of the candidates is like, no, I don't want to. And the heroes get caught up in this rebellion. And it is at a great price, 27 pages for $3.75.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
Yeah, I love the cover art. I love that we got the little Fast, Furious, Fun February logo there. And this introduces players to this area of Ashfort and is kind of a great little module to just drop into your Savage Worlds campaign or run a one-shot with.
Yeah. I think it also goes into the Void Runners universe, too.
It does go into the Void Runners universe.
Right.
I believe. Yeah, because it's part of the Ravenori Empire, which we've had him on. We've had James on the Savage Universe stream.
And John Doom's children are joining us, too, in the background.
Yeah, I can hear them very loudly. That's super nice.
Thanks, my dogs are chiming in too. So it's Thursday, guys.
Welcome to Thursday. So we are now normally the previous years, the list of the Fast, Fun, Furious February Creator Jam material was put up on the wiki. It now resides, thanks to our our hardworking staff of Valentine, also known as Cryptrite, and Al giving me all of the links that were sent to him. It now resides on Savage Universe. So we have the rough list up in kind of wiki format on the Savage Universe page. It's a new tab across the top, and we will be adding art and kind of, dressing it up a little going forward. But hopefully all of the Creator Jams going forward will now be, the archive will be on Savage Universe, and you'll be able to go check it out right there. I was going to bring it up, but I'm like, I know that I've got my lovely assistant Vanna here, and I mean, Lana.
Yeah,
there we go.
Lana. I'm
You-
totally Pam Poovy though. So
Yeah, you.
without the cocaine,
Oh,
I just like hitting things and eating food. So
Reasonable. That's totally
Right.
reasonable.
all right. So, John, you are a first-time Creator Jam participant.
I am.
Why did you jump in on this one, and what was the process like for you?
Well, I jumped in on this one because I had an idea that I thought would be a fun little adventure to run. And I did a thing that most people don't do who come up with these ideas, which is I wrote it down a little bit. And then I said, hey, I wrote this thing down. And then, of course, the people on the Savage Worlds unofficial Discord were extremely insistent that, hey, man, like, put it out there, go and make the thing happen. So I said, okay, I guess I can look up how to do that, and took a couple of the steps that were offered to me, went through and looked at how to put it onto like a design format, and just copy and pasted the whole thing in there. And yeah, I mean, that was the process. I guess it started a couple months before February, but having the Fast Furious Fun February, that is hard to say.
It is.
Really put the impetus on finishing it up within that month. So I got it in just under the wire. I think it was on the 25th or something along those lines.
Now, I noticed on your listing, and we'll get to that here in a second, but like, did Tinker Hellraiser get you a little bit of art for this?
Yes. I now have art in there, which I was wanting to do the entire time. And it did take a little bit, but there is some art that finally happened.
Awesome.
And it's fantastic, too. It's really cool. It's of the main boss of there, which is like an acid scorpion, I guess you'd call it. And I'll send it along to Landauer. If I had thought about doing it beforehand, I would have been a smart man. But
Get that over to my assistant Landauer, and we'll put it on the stream.
yeah.
So the next one is actually Spell Runners. If I can get you to jump over to that one.
Wait. Before we go there,
Okay.
because I have done the thing. Let me
You
see.
have done the thing.
Let me see. I must share a different tab. Boosh. There we go.
Make sure you share the right tab.
There we go. Is that the one?
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah.
That is definitely Tink's art. I knows it on site. Awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely the one. And now, yeah, I put it into the adventure, I want to say a couple days ago, right? Around the same time that enough of these really, really kind humans out there went and bought copies of this. And
Yeah,
Put
you're
up
already
the
a copper bestseller, sir.
Already a
Right.
copper bestseller. That's fantastic.
which is craziness to me, but this community is super, super supportive.
It
Can't
really
thank
is.
everyone enough for
It really is.
getting in there and buying a copy. And I also put a thing on the Facebook for my birthday this week that I was like, you know what?
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
sir.
birthday. And now the
Oh,
internet will sing happy birthday to John, and a 1 and a 2.
But I put it for a little bit of a sale on there and put it on Facebook. So
Nice. Well, okay, so before we go to the other ones, because they're not here and you're here.
They're not here. That's a good point.
Right. What is the cool theme of Seventh Kind?
thematically, it's rebellion. To go with the Fast Furious Fun February, exactly right.
But also
Thematically, it's horror and escape from the clutches of an alien spacecraft with these the gray aliens who have great amounts of hubris about their abilities and care not about the things going on until it's way too late.
And if I've learned anything about the Greys from Resident Aliens, they're the probers, right? That comes up in your adventure.
Absolutely, it does. I mean,
Alan Tudyk is a national gem. Come on,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
Mwah.
there's a scene of him doing his hey hey, voicing, and he looks at the camera and is like, I went to Juilliard. Fantastic. But yeah, so you're a group of people that were abducted anywhere between 1930 and 2000. You're aboard spacecraft all together. You wake up around the same time because something has gone severely wrong. It turns out that one of the experiments that the Greys were doing got loose, or two, and it's enough to have caused some significant damage throughout the ship. And you try to make your way through out there and find that you're probably the only people left to attempt to land the ship.
It is a fun little adventure, and you can go over and you can pick that one up right now for $1. I'd buy that for $1. I
$1.
did buy that for $1.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats to everybody who was in on the Creator Jam from Chris on our YouTube. So the next one, Landauer, cue it up.
Oh, okay. We're doing the micro setting spell runner solo
We
rules.
are doing the
Yes,
micro
we-
setting spell runner. So this is a 14-page supplement. Another great deal at $1. It is the late 21st century, a few decades after magic has returned to the world. A small percentage of the population transformed overnight, with many becoming elves or ogres, beast folk, and other so-called new humans. But some gained arcane gifts. The most powerful were those who were called archmages. Civilization almost collapsed, but the archmages stepped forward to help, and with their support, the world's governments managed to restore order. The people soon adapted to a new way of life, while archmages faded from the public eye to establish secret organizations and pursue their own agendas. You are spellrunners, freelance arcane operatives who take on the clandestine jobs for the archmages. This sounds awesome. And the layout in this one, I don't know if you can scroll down and show off the layout, is spectacular. So the game comes with the micro setting, which is 2 pages, the adventure, which is 2 pages, the solo rule, which is 2 pages, and then a bunch of characters that you get 3 to a page. And my God. The layout is gorgeous. So this one was done by Richard Woolcock, and well done. Just, if you guys have bought any of these products, do me a favor, and you're listening now, do this and get a Benny in your next game. Again, we're 14 and a half minutes in. I happen to know that Tracy honors the Bennies that are given out on this show.
That's
So
true. And
you-
she does run a game tonight. So if you guys are watching right now for her game,
Yeah, just use this extra Benny and go leave a review for the Creator Jam products. Reviews help people get seen more. The algorithm pushes them, but also people want to know if it's worth it.
mhm. Yeah, I'll tell you that Richard Woolcock makes a fantastic set of adventures. This is a common layout he has for his Tricube Tales,
Yes.
which are just a real hoot too. I know that's not Savage Worlds, but it is, a very big Savage World supporter, Richard, and just all of his stuff is really worth its weight. He does so much stuff that's for free too out on Drive Through. So looking at his stuff is well worth it.
Yeah, I like his tables where he includes the dice rolls that allow you to roll on the tables, which is pretty cool.
If only we all were playing in a Tracy game tonight, Billy. 1, we'd all have extra Bennies, and 2, we would be playing in a Tracy game tonight. You can donate your Bennies to John, who I believe is playing Tracy's game tonight.
John gets around. He's polygamerous.
He
I
is.
don't know how many she'll let me get away with, but it's kind of my way. That's fine. We can see.
So yeah,
All
it looks like Richard also went through and multi-statted the character sheets. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
And the art is slick.
Yay, Richard. Good job, buddy.
Well done. The next one is from the organizer of the Creator Jam, Alb himself, and this one is called "We Are" with an exclamation mark. The world almost ended, but thanks to genetic manipulation and determination, humanity pulled through. This is a biopunk mini setting, which Alb talked about the last time we had him on. Character options to design your genetically optimized character, a plethora of biological tools and stims to survive, stats for a dozen bioengineered animals, and a few adventure hooks to get you started. 35 pages. So this is his little mini setting. 35 pages, $2. Alb's showing us all up as we are kind of gathered into this Creator Jam that he's been putting on. Do you think Alb starts early and then finishes up in February and makes it look easy, or is it just that easy for him?
I like the trade dress. Like I like the background to use. I've kidnapped your child and cut out like magazine. I mean, what are kidnappers going to do in now that like no one buys print anymore? Like there's like who has magazines to cut out like letters to.
And it's still a while before AI is going to be able to actually replicate letters in art. So it's not like you can have it
right.
generate it for you.
Right. I mean, that's how we use it to confirm I'm actually human.
That's right.
Oh, let me see. Did I not? Let's see. I need to share this. Haven't said. Okay, so here's the cool trade dress. Here we go. Here it is. The yes, neat stuff. Like definitely dig the letters. And then like some cool TD Luthong stock art, good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing about like Savage Universe and the things is like you don't have to hire artists. Like Richard Rolcock uses stock art. This is stock art. Like, you know, like we're here for your ideas and your content. So don't let all the other expensive stuff of design get in your way because ultimately these are very low cost items that go up that like to build your audience. So we come for your ideas and like I love a piece of good stock art too. So the barrier to entry for Savage Universe
very low.
It's low, guys. It's low. Like get on it. Start like.
Well, and the thing to remember is that for these Creator Jams, and there's going to be another Creator Jam in September, correct?
Yes. That's what they do. Like so, everything else you publish all throughout the year, like they do the big like bundle sale once a year in the fall. So
and especially for Fast Fun Furious February, it doesn't have to be a swag or an ace product. It can be a free product to push out there. Speaking of the man himself.
So sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, don't worry about it, Al! Huzzah! We just did your product. We talked about how awesome it was and how you make
thank
it look
you very
easy.
much. I wish I had an excuse, but I had too much fun with my kids playing Dixit, so I just realized it was like 15 minutes later.
That is a great game and a great excuse.
No, we've decided like for this Thursday stream, all of our children, even our furry ones, get the interaction they want. So you're totally fine.
Perfect. So yeah, so you were talking about We Are.
Yeah. So give us like what's the content? What is like
it started as I wanted to make a punk book for a very, very long time. And I wanted to have something that wasn't really not that I wanted to create a new punk genre, but I wanted to make it more unique, not just Shadowrun, but with another paint of coat of paint or something like that. So I went with something that's the first idea I had was queer punk, something like to take inspiration from Brave New World, the book by Aldous Huxley, which is about like finding a way to express yourself in a world that everyone has decided what you're going to do beforehand.
Soma and Bumble Puppies, right?
Sorry, what?
Soma and Bumble Puppies.
So yeah, that was the main idea, and everything started from there. And like I knew I needed to have like a city landscape, but I wanted it to feel like you were trapped because the characters are trapped. The concept is I'm going all everywhere because I haven't had the chance to start to prepare myself. I just ran to
You
my
just
computer. Yeah. So the basic idea is a while ago there was a big outbreak that killed 99% of the population and turned the whole planet inhabitable. Basically, humanity was doomed, except they found a few islands in the southeast in the southeast Asia that were spared from the contagion, the outbreak. So they settled there, but they had an issue with um, population control, and they needed a lot of new workers to create the world anew. So they turned to genetic engineering, and they created everyone from scratch. They knew they needed policemen, workers, scientists, and everything. So they designed every single one before they were even born to take a role. And you play someone that doesn't want to have that role. You are deviant and you want to explore what you are instead of accept whatever the society gave you as a role. So that's the basic idea. That's why it's queer punk, because it's an allegory to like identity, freedom, and how you can be yourself in a world that doesn't want you to be yourself. And it's since it's a biopunk setting, you have like the government and the corporations are trying to silence you, and you are hunted down just because you don't want to have the job the corporation wants you to have. So that's the basic idea of We Are. I also try to be as weird as possible, so most of the tools are bioengineered animals. So you don't use like in the shopping marts and everything, you have like a place where you can push buttons to know where you need to go and how to like I want to go to that store, so you push a button and that leads you into that store. But well, now it's parrots, bioengineering parrots that are scattered around the city that can give you those directions. You just ask them. And so that, yeah, I wanted to be, you don't have any uh, it's like bioengineered ducks that are obese, that eats trash on the ground, so you can have, yeah, those are the parrots, the Axiri, which is a pun with Siri and um so
Alexa.
yeah, Alexa, thank you.
Nice.
With so it's that was the idea. So they are, yeah, guides, information booths, and living terminals. You also have like the city itself is alive because every single part of hardware use biological neural networks. So the city itself, like, it's just a big nerve that goes everywhere, and the animals can tap into the neural network. So even the weird stray cat you see can be a security camera.
oh,
So
that's creepy
yeah, that's and
as
you,
foretold. Creepy
yeah,
AF.
yeah, that I wanted to be as weird as possible. And the data jacks you can have for surfing the net is basically you put your brain on the neural net. You connect your brain to the neural net, so you hallucinate the information in your brain itself. And people are trained to do so when they are very young, so it doesn't matter to them. And actually, having the just a screen to surf the net is an add-on you can add, but it makes you very slow because you have to type commands instead of just thinking about them. But many deviants use it because they don't want to like put their brain in the neural net, and you can have brain hacking and stuff like that. So it's very, very, very a big dystopia, but in the idea of you have to find a way to express yourself in that
Yeah.
oppressive world. So that's the idea
Very
behind
cool.
We Are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
And it
you're
uses,
showing up everybody else like by putting out 34 pages
I
for
know.
a little
Right.
month creator jam. Buddy.
Yeah, finish that in 1 month with trade
Yeah.
dress.
Yeah, well, just to be fair, I started writing in a month, but
Knew it.
I had the idea for a few months. So I just like brainstorm ideas, and I had like my Google Doc was filled with ideas, but nothing was like written or organized before the month of February. So yeah,
Nice.
that's
So
and
how did you find the time crunch? Was the time crunch helpful in getting out a product? Like you know,
well that well it's helpful to get out a product. It's not helpful for my anxiety. And the good news is I worked a lot of late shifts during the month of February. So the bad news is I haven't seen my family for like 2 or 3 weeks. But the good news is in the morning and the beginning of afternoon I was able to write. Then I went to work. Then I come back and slept. But my family was living in another time slot than me, so I had time to write a lot. But yeah, that's crazy. But that's who I am. Once I have an idea, I'm just writing it down and stuff. I realize that when you write too much, you have so much editing to do afterwards because
Mhm.
it the I'm sure I missed stuff, but the sentences were just broken all around. I had like words missing that I don't know how I could have written that. Sentences that didn't make any sense because I was just typing too fast. So it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because if you have such a tight deadline, like 1/3 of what you're writing is trash. So you have to work like 30% more just to repair what you had written.
No, totally. I get that too. So I released my product, and like 14 minutes later, Landauer sends me a note, and he's like, "Do you know we have a style guide, right?" I was like, "I used the style guide. Did you though?" And sends me like 30 corrections.
but
And then
did you really?
the next day, yeah, and yet Mara's like, "Hey, you know there's a style guide, right?" I'm like, "I fixed a bunch of stuff." I just want to fix this.
A
Sends me another
wise
600 things. I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
a wise man once said, I don't it was on one of these streams, but a wise man once said, a book is never finished, is only abandoned.
Yes.
So
Yep.
even if you correct all the mistakes, you'll find new ways to write stuff that are more clearer or stuff like that. So you once, especially for something like Creator Jam, you have to let it go. It's live. It's doing its own thing now. I'm not sure I want to touch it in a few years. Maybe I'll write a full setting one day, but I have so many ideas. I just wanted to put that one out there. So I hope people will enjoy it. I hope people will read it and find it interesting. Take inspiration for their own game because it might not be your cup of tea. It's very weird. It's very like off-putting as by design because I feel like too many punks stories feel the same and don't have like their unique identities. So I want it to be like when you think about biopunk, I want it to be weird. I want it to feel like post-human, which is not something
Yes.
you can often see. And like you were talking when we were discussing the punk genre, which is about like what is human, what makes us human, what makes us who we are, and do augmentations and implants change humanity or makes us more connected to humanity and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's something we can explore in We Are as well because we basically everyone is a different species by then. Like if you're a policeman, you're a different species than a librarian or a construction worker or something like that. So that was the basic idea. And I also used thank you thank you for Sprawl Runner because I had the chance to use the Sprawl Runner's gear. I don't want to take the time to create gear specifically for my setting. Just use the Sprawl Runner ones, and so that was my idea and concept. So we had a lot of good other books. as
Oh
well.
yeah, there was several. The next one we're going to talk about is by Christian Mertz, Fundraiser, which was a great pun about how to use bennies and gives you 20 new ways to use bennies. I'm a fan of his setting lists, like all of the different setting rules that
Mhm.
he puts together. This one though was kind of cool. So it gives you the options to, let me pull up my notes. Even just it's new ways to use bennies. So like spend a benny to ignore the -2 for the beginner's luck penalty, or discard all of your adventure cards and draw a new one. And he gives you several variants. So it's kind of hard to tell you exactly what's in this for $2, but it's somewhere between 20 and 35 new uses for bennies, benny rules, and setting rules that affect how bennies work. So if you are a fan of setting lists, you kind of know what you're getting into with this product.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it, because you can actually use it in every single other game you have in Savage World.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be linked to a specific setting. So and you can always use it like for one shot, or just try it out for something different, or just as a dream sequence even. Yeah. So
I was looking through and was like, wow, there could be fun places or like zones in my Crucible game where I'm like, hey, this Benny rule is in effect in this area because of this thing. So it doesn't work anywhere else in the city, but if you're here, you can spend a Benny in the library to ignore the penalty for unskilled use, because there's just so much information just floating around that for a Benny you pull the right book off the shelf and are able to do it.
That's a good idea. It reminds me of Torg and
yes,
the rules that are for a Cosm. Yeah.
Well, it also gives GM some ideas on places where you can hand out bennies, like the one where if you're rolling like above a 16, I mean, you might as well give the player a benny for that, and
it's not going to work, John. Like I'm not just going to give Naresh an extra benny because
it's a good idea. I roll high.
Just because Landauer shoves you into the death portal doesn't mean you get a benny.
Closed for centuries by these elves. Let's open it up now.
It's still fresh.
Hey guys, look, I opened it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's good. It's all inside jokes.
It's all inside jokes. I run a Savage Rifts game that includes John Doom and Landauer, and we were talking about it earlier. Landauer decided to open a sealed portal into hell, and
reasonable.
Push John Doom into it. So it was like, cool, I guess I have 2 weeks to come up with what's next. Speaking of our Savage Rifts game, Ronnie, good to see you.
Yeah, no, it's great fun. And bennies are the lifeblood of Savage Worlds. It's like the most unique thing about the system. So I love seeing people riff on what you can use bennies for, because benny economy is where it's at.
Yeah. And what I particularly enjoy about bennies is you can use them to either as a way to earn them or as a way to spend them to conditioning. You can train your players to do stuff a certain way that you want for a certain type of games. Like what I always do with my Big Apple Sewer Samurai game is I reward bad puns, because that's what you see in Saturday morning cartoon shows.
I reward bad puns and then realize that I'm training my players to make them.
Yeah.
And and the other thing is what I love about Benny rules is that they are typically the sign that a group has been playing together for a while when house rules come together for bennies. So like on our Friday night group, the first person to log into Foundry gets an extra benny. The first person to hit 0 bennies after they finish their turn gets 1 benny, because you've spent them all. Like, well done. And those are like little house rules from our table that's kind of evolved as like, because we keep rotating GMs, and when one GM does something that the other GMs like, that just carries on to the next game. And so we're accreting our own
The Bennies
Benny
must flow.
households.
We're actually awarding bennies in other games as well. So, like, let's say we play Word of Darkness, and the game master wants to force or tempt the players into doing something. We say, I'm going to give you a benny, even if it doesn't mean anything in the Word of Darkness game. And sometimes we even award them the next time we play a Savage World games. Like, oh yeah, you did that. So we can actually train players outside of Savage World with bennies.
Yeah. I tried doing that with drinks, and it turned out to not be great for my play table. This really. All right. So the next one is for.
Oh yeah, that's good.
This one's great for the Sleuth Squad. It is a teen mystery setting, and this is our first free one, I think. For
I think it's a jumpstart / adventure, because the setting itself isn't out yet.
Yes.
It's
so
going
this is
to-
the adventure, event episode generator.
which was and it's so good. We have a discussion. We have like a few previews on the Savage unofficial Savage Discord one, and it's like the art direction is awesome, and the look itself is very, very good.
Yeah, the look is so great. Like it's so bright and cheery, and
It shouldn't work, but it does.
it does.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, kids would immediately take to this, but like, I mean, who among us aren't just like overgrown kids? And yeah, no,
Right.
it's quite nice.
So speaking of kids, I'm doing that Savage Worlds Club at my son's school. And this week, so I've run a little Savage Pathfinder. We did our big post-apocalyptic dystopian future Fallout-inspired adventure that ran like 3 weeks. And so then we did our Jeopardy-style quiz show, and I gave the kids 3
Savage
weeks.
World style?
Yes. Well, it was Savage. It was Jeopardy, but it was Savage Worlds questions.
Okay.
And
I was expecting like a Jeopardy style setting where the players are playing characters playing Jeopardy.
Yeah, and you can only announce your action in the form of the question, or else the GM moves on to the next person. No, they 3 of the kids took home a one sheet, and I actually used a one sheet from. Let me pull it up from DriveThru, and these 3 kids, 1 grade schooler and 2 middle schoolers, are running their very first game of role playing ever, and they're running it as Savage Worlds.
I just love it. Like, I like it. One is a grade schooler who's doing game mastering, and then you said that was the most like loud raucous table of the group.
It was the loudest. Like, the other groups kept having to ask them to keep it down, and they were having a blast. They all ran a park poaching problem by Kevin Rainier, which is there's a poacher on Yellowstone, and the park rangers hire the party to go capture this bison poacher, and it was great. They're all in the final fight. They're going to finish up the final fight next week, and 3 more kids came up to me and are like, "Hey, the next time we do this, can I GM?" So they're going to start writing their own adventures, and then a bunch of them are going to run one-shots in like 3 weeks. It's going to be awesome.
You're doing your part.
I'm doing my part. I'm raising them right.
Yes, marketing the hard way. Like, we get customers by marrying people, having children, and actually producing them.
It's a long con. It's a long con.
From the school, big thanks to Landauer, who supplied the club. He wanted to make sure my son got to be like, bam, my dad works for PEG.
Yeah.
So it went spectacularly.
Yeah. Show and tell. It's like, oh, my dad's a tax attorney. My dad makes games.
My dad makes games. All right, let's go into the last one. The Wreck of the Agamemnon, a pirate adventure by Radolf. I want to say Saint Germain because it could be
Saint Germain.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, oh, that was. I don't know if you guys watched the Castlevania animated show that came out on Netflix, but when they put Saint Germain in there, I was like, even better. All right, show it off, Landauer.
Yeah, okay. So you'll notice like it's called Gold Piece, which if you look at the font very carefully, you might get a certain vibe from I don't know a famous manga and anime, and
Doesn't ring a
live-action
bell.
TV show.
yeah.
Is it some kind of obscure anime nobody hears about?
Yeah, no one's ever going to even make a live action TV show of it.
Ever, and it
right.
won't be a very successful adaptation. That should
Like the first real successful
yeah,
anime real life adaptation in America.
yeah, that probably would never
Yeah,
happen.
it never happened. Never happened.
They would
Not
have
gonna
to
be a
They would have to
1,000
get like
episodes,
4
yeah.
raises on their screenwriting.
I mean, surely Cowboy Bebop of all the anime would be the easiest to cross over because it's yeah, whatever. So I actually like one Agamemnon is cool because actually this is a little link between JM and I. So for those of you who might recognize the works of Homer, when I gave JM a little present to read to his kid, so I gave him the Iliad and the Odyssey. And you guys like not only read through the Iliad and the Odyssey, that you went and did the Aeneid too, right? Like
We're gonna do the Aeneid this summer. Yeah.
nice, okay, that's okay. But this, if you check it out, like one, I really like the trade dress, even
Yeah.
cheeky, steely. But like, if you look at the, look at the art in here.
The
like,
art
I
is
just-
great.
right?
Yep.
Like love the type font, the typefaces. Like the art is great, and then look at that trade dress. Like that's very classy, perfect. And then hey, little Monkey Island too. Like because why not do a crossover in your crossover because crossovers are good. And then look at these characters.
Yo, dog, I heard you like crossovers.
Right? But oh my god, look at these character cards. This is just great. I think these are fantastic.
Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all hand drawn, so you can see
Yeah.
the heart and love that's been given to the product is very, very good.
that is so awesome. And yeah, and like I don't know, is this the first thing? I don't know we're doing about a bunch of stuff that he's published, so that is awesome. The yeah,
slice
and only
of life.
99 cents.
Yeah.
It's well, I don't think there's a lot of costly products this year because it's very by design it's very short products, even though there's one crazy guy that makes it 30 pages long. But
Yeah, that guy should definitely be promoted to like
Organizer of the
curator or
event,
organizer of the event. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
and I do have an idea. I do have an idea for next year as well. So
Well, don't tell us because then people are going to start planning now.
Yeah.
And John Doom's going to turn a 364-page book in next year. We can't have that.
and the hardest part for me was like the month just after the month of March was the drive-through creator jam. So I had 2 creator jams in a row that I wanted to participate in. What have I done? Oh,
Well, Alb, from all of us at PEG and from the community, thank you for organizing
Yeah,
this.
sir.
We got it all up on the Savage Universe site, and I'm going to put the logo up there, and we'll just keep it rolling forward.
perfect. I hope we'll have as many people, even more next year. And yeah, thank you very much for.
No, we'll do same plan as next time. We'll try and get you on in January so that you can give everybody a heads up, and then we'll do an after party.
May I have a little bit time for a preview for what's to come? For
No, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
something
We're
else?
okay. We
fine.
can. We can. Okay, yeah. All right, go ahead.
So I'm just going to. I'm not sure I can give the image, but my next Big Apple Sword Samurai book is going out next month. I hope it should. It was supposed to go out this month, but the Drive-Thru Creator Jam got in the way. And it's going to be about criminal organizations in the Big Apple and
awesome.
new style edges. So plenty of martial arts, kung fu thingy for your Saturday morning cartoons. And I also added a rule for like dueling, but that could be applicable to everything: cooking, dueling, spelling bee dueling, like whatever you want, wrestling, more. So yeah, it's coming. It's going to be called With Friends Like These.
Nice.
Awesome.
And I'm already playtesting the adventure after that one. So
Well, let me know when it goes live, and we'll put it up on Savage Universe and get it into the newsletter.
thank you very much.
Awesome.
No, that is so good. And before we leave, because I mean, everyone needs to get back and play with their fur children and real children, because they will be the next generation of Savage Worlds people. But since Savage Universe is all about things that are not PEG, I've got one that's not even Savage Worlds, but I met this great like new creator
Yes.
at Gamma, and let me pop it. So this guy is crazy. He's got a game that's called License to Krill, and so we talked about bad puns earlier, and this one is really funny. It's called License to Krill. And let me just show you like the screenshot real quickly. It's a fun little card drafting game, and it's the actual box that the game comes in is a plushy whale that you can store the cards in. And
Yes.
the guy is crazy. His name is Matthew Cambick, and this is the first game he showed us. It's a 1-card deck builder, which is hilarious. And on the card, it's a 1-card deck builder. And the funny thing about this game is you take this card, you lay it on the edge of a table, and there are little zones. I don't know if it's focusing enough, but like they're cool little zones on the card. And if you cover the zone with something like your phone, you don't get the points that are covered. But you get points for all the things that are still uncovered. And then you have like 2 minutes to go around like wherever you're at, find 5 objects, and you use those objects to build as far off the table as you can. So you get points for distance from the table and how many things you don't cover up. And it's a really fun game. So I won the game amongst our mostly imbibing friends, because I put a fork with a business card on the end of the tines, and then it didn't cover up any things. But like he's like the world record was some guy who was a builder who covered up all of the face, but he had one of those tape measures that builders use that don't flop when they go out.
Yes.
So it went out like 14 feet or whatever, 7 feet, I don't know, whatever they did before. It's like they're very hard. And he's like, yeah, I win. But unless you're a builder with one of those, like you have to get very creative on, building a little thing off the edge.
Well, if he does an expansion, he should do Shoot to Krill.
Yeah. Oh, so the whole game is just filled with like whale and seafood and shrimp puns. So it's actually pretty fantastic. So check that out, License to Krill. It's he's a cool dude, and he's like a first-time creator. So we want to raise all the rising tide, raising boats. So if you want on the rising tide of Savage Worlds, folks, get in on the Savage Worlds Adventurers Guild, because it's very easy to publish. You can see you can make a 1-page thing and post it for free. You can make a 34-page micro setting.
If you're like me and you wanted to publish something but are frightened about doing so, come join us at the unofficial Savage World Discord. We have a lot of people that are willing to look at your stuff, give you constructive criticism, help you bring it further, and give you confidence into publishing your first book or your first 1-page or anything you have in mind. And it's a very helpful community, and we're not biting. We promise. We don't have cookies though. That's the dark side.
I mean, I like cookies, but then again, no one doubts what side I'd be on in the great Jedi War.
That's true. That's true. Well, we have no Savage Universe next week, but do not fear. Savage Universe will be back in the near future, especially because I think I can say it without giving any dates, but I'm pretty sure Star Anvil has something coming up in the near future, and I'll just hijack the signal on my own.
Well, it was announced on the Savage World Discord, the Star Anvil one. I think I'm just going to make sure I'm not mixing my companies.
That's
Just going to see, because we had like a few good ones.
Yeah. Their new electric SUV. Wait a second. Wrong Discord channel.
Star Anvil. I'm pretty sure that's the one. I just want to make sure. Is that the one that is from a video game?
Yes.
Okay, they're doing the Secret World.
Savage Secret Worlds. When that Kickstarter goes live, I will be back here.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very good setting. and they're doing very. Starrenville has a stellar art direction. They have like
Yes.
kick-ass art all the way around. Very good ideas. They're the one that did the fantasy one, that's Night Arcanum, which is like Eamon and the Masters of the Universe.
Mhm.
They also had another one, Sense and Sinners, which is sci-fi thing. So they're very, very good. I'm excited to see
I'm
what
really
they have
excited.
in store.
I've gotten to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm
Oh.
super excited about Savage Secret World. So yes, Ted, you can go to Savage Universe, go over to the Creator Jam, and we have all of the 2024 products listed right there, and that'll take you right over to drive through, and you can snag them there. So, Alb, John, Landauer, thanks for joining me and hanging out and chatting. It's always good to just hang out. and
Sorry
talk
for
Savage
my
Worlds.
lateness.
No, we're all
Listen, a
good.
bunch of people came in late too. They would never have noticed. You could just be like, "I've been here the whole time."
Right? Kids need taken care of. That's it. Like that's literally
That's
what.
right. I
everyone's
actually have to
saying.
go do that right now.
Right.
So, until next time, go play some Savage Worlds. Go write some Savage Worlds. That's really what we should be saying at the end of these streams. Go write some Savage Worlds. May all your dice ace. We'll see you all in the near future. Have a good one.
Later, folks.
Bye.
Bye bye.